Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to the Critical Blast podcast. A little bit later than usual, but we have a very, very good reason, and I'm so glad you showed up for it and stayed up late or got up early in the case of some people. I am the senior managing editor here at criticalblast.com, where pop culture gets blasted. And as of last night, I am now the proud distributor of The Company Men from The Man Called Kemosabe, Lee Byron Carver, in Australia. We'll talk more about that offline if you want to get your books distributed in the U.S. from outside the U.S., because we buy comics. We buy a lot of them, and you want to sell them to us. So talk to us at Critical Blast on Twitter. But for now, we're going to look at a specific Indiegogo from a very special guest. We have with us Rabbi Tzvi Lebetkin, also known as the Rabbi from Another Planet.
Hello,
Rabbi,
thank you for having me on. That's right. By the way, listen. As you were introing your fulfillment service, you know what you should really be doing with Comicsgaters. Whenever you have a successful campaign, it's always worth overprinting by about 20%. People like me who are not in the US need an agent to be able to sell their excess. That's something you guys could be freaking awesome at.
Rabbi, you just moved into step. I told you step one of my plan.
Oh, there you go. You
just jumped right into step three, because I encourage overshipments. One, because if you go in demand, you don't have to ship me more books; they're already here.
Right.
But the third step of that is that if The Company Men has extra books here, and then 3 or 4 more other campaigns have extra books here, you know what I do then? I go to the local comic shops in the U.S. and I say, hey, I have limited print run import comics that you can get a la carte in one shipment. You don't have to pay $10 to ship this one, $10 to ship that one. I will put 2 of this, 3 of that, 1 of those in one box.
You're basically taking it over from Diamond, right? Because now they've imploded. Now the industry imploded around. What fell apart first, Diamond or the comic book industry? It was kind of like a mutual suicide pact, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, Diamond fell apart first, I think, but yeah. It was a slow motion 10-year implosion,
right?
And you had no choice but to watch it because they were the only game in town. And then, of course,
essentially so. Yeah, exactly. They had a monopoly, and they enjoyed having a monopoly.
And I think that's probably it. There's a rumor. It's a rumor because it's bleeding cool, so it's nothing but a rumor. It can't be
exactly.
That's Steve Geppi was the one hinted at as somebody who might buy DC. And I'm like, well, of course he wants to buy DC because then he can make them exclusively Diamond distributors.
Exactly. Well, listen, I mean, that's really the way it's going, isn't it? That you're going to have some wealthy fan buy out these characters, and maybe that you might get good comics off them. But I don't think see anything good emerging until 2023 at the earliest.
Yeah, it's they've got a, it's like when your drain is clogged and you pour liquid plumber in the bowl, in the basin, and it's all filled up there. You got to wait for all that crap to get cleared out.
Exactly. And also, there's been a real dearth of finding new talent in the last 5 years. These idiot editors have been eager to recruit people from the writer's room of Brooklyn 99. If you're the lowliest gopher in the writing room of any of an awful sitcom, you will get preference 100%. And rather than people who actually love comics, right? People actually genuinely love it, which is I think is why the stuff you get in Comicsgate is just so much better. Everybody freaking loves what they're doing. You have to love it to make comics. It's like it takes an insane amount of dedication and passion, right? It's insane.
Exactly. If you didn't love comics, why in the world would you go into a business where you could spend thousands of dollars to only lose hundreds?
Exactly. Absolutely. I do hear that.
It's all for the love of it. And I've said on multiple streams here on the show that the problem with the big two these days is we don't have the Dick Giordanos and the Julie Schwartzes and the Stan Lees running things now. We don't have leadership.
We have morons who have been fired and replaced by the morons interns. That's who's running everything.
Exactly. And I dare say you might even think that that's what's happened to Doctor Who. I have checked.
Oh, yes. Well, no, you see, I think it's happened across the board because people who control media have no diversity. They're all of one mindset, and that is for the last 4 years. There's been those terrible National Socialists from Germany in the 1930s have come back, and they've taken over the world, and now they're rejoicing. It's not a well. Actual, I actually used to work as a tour guide in Yad Vashem, the Israel Holocaust Museum, and so I know the subject very well. And what's going on in America now? It's more totalitarianism than during the McCarthy era. You are on the absolute precipice of turning into China. I don't think China is the adversary for the American government. I think it's the role model right now. So yeah. I genuinely do, but I have a lot of other thoughts about what's going on in the world. Yeah, just hold on to your hats. I think we're in for a more interesting year this year than last year.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, when a Jewish rabbi tells you that the National Socialist Party is on the rise, listen.
Yes, yeah. I mean, well, the thing is, they don't know. They're so pig ignorant and stupid. They have no idea. They have no idea that, without freedom of speech, without working democracy, you have totalitarianism, right? And that's really what you are in America now. And it does seem to me that they're the other side of the cultural aisle, while they have supreme power, are also terrified, right? They're absolutely terrified, right? I think scared people make stupid decisions. I think some stupid decisions are coming in the next couple of. Basically, look. In short, I think a genuine apocalypse is coming. If you want to protect yourself from it, the best way is to support a rabbi's Indiegogo. That's what I would suggest, right? I think
great idea.
I can't guarantee you. What will happen, but I like to hope. You'll be protected.
Bunker in the bunker and have something to read while you're there.
Exactly.
So I have your Indiegogo pulled up here. Coincidentally enough,
here's one I made earlier.
And since you have a video, I'm going to make it big, take us out of the picture, and play this video because, first of all, the music on it is just groovy. So
it's completely royalty free. All the music comes from YouTube. You're not going to get a copyright strike for it.
Oh, thank you. I've actually interviewed people about their own television shows and played their theme openings and gotten copyright strikes. I'm like, it's your show.
YouTube's funny that way.
But let's give this a full play.
Wow, there you go. I'm so talking about you.
I am simultaneously delighted, intrigued, and creeped out.
Well, good. That's exactly what I'm going for. That's I've hit. Oh, you got Herrenberg in the chat. Have you ever had them on your channel?
I have, not often enough though. But
they are fun guests. They are fun guests to have on. So Herrenberg,
especially if you can get like the cast with him.
Yeah, well, yeah, he bought one guy on with him. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that stream. Yeah, so let's look. I got two books. They're very. Here, tell you what. Let me throw this up. Yeah, I put up shared an image which you can see what you're getting easier.
Let's see here.
Fine. So there are two books I got. One is called Biblical. It's got a feel of more like a early Vertigo book or like pre-Vertigo. It's like so early Sandman, Swamp Thing, that kind of like horror tinged weird fantasy edge. But this is using the Bible as its template. It's extremely biblically accurate, and by doing that, you there's a lot of stuff in it that people kind of might have heard of before, but it's much more layered and deep, three-dimensional, and it basically it ties together Jonah, the book of Jonah, and Noah's Ark, and the Raven. Raven's my favorite character, and the Tower of Babel into one kind of like seamless narrative about the nature of reality. So that's a much more that's like a sort of weighty tome. I think with that has something to say. It's a rattling good ride. There's lots of I think there's lots of entertainment in there. So that's the first book, but the second book is a lot more fun. This one is a lot more fun. It's called Imperium. It's I call it a love letter to telefantasy of the 1960s. So it's essentially just everything I love about 1960s genre TV merged together into one narrative, it's bonkers, it's fun, and if you like that sort of TV, you're gonna love this, right? So essentially, it's here. I'll show you the cover.
I recognize some characters, or at least I think I do.
Yeah, well, you think, well, these are obviously their own dimension. Yeah, their own thing. But essentially, it's you have these 5 characters. You got the astronaut, which is a monkey in a spacesuit. You have the assassin, which is James Bond. Essentially, you got the agent, which is Emma Peel. Looking very good, may I say. Looking very good. You have the exile, which is make your own decision who it could be. It's a trans-temporal shape-shifting alien exiled from his people. And you have the envoy, the black slab from 2001, essentially. That's what they are. And
I saw the black slab. I didn't think it was a character, but yeah.
No, I'm 100%. The black slab, so he never says anything that you can hear. But he's got a very big influence on it. So so you get in the book you get it's like a pilot story, right? But the way the campaign's going, I imagine we're going to get to the stretch goals where we expand it by anything between 5 to 20 pages. I hope we expand it by 20 pages because I freaking love Dominic Ratch's art. He's the artist on this.
Did I see Patrick McGowan driving a car in some of those?
Oh yeah, what's that? That's see for me that I'll show you the actual book. Let me just find it. Okay, I always got to remember. Always open with PDFs with preview. If you got a Mac, don't even think about opening Acrobat. It's a freaking nightmare. Preview. There you go. 1 second. Fine. Yeah. In fact, this art. If you're a Prisoner fan, this artbook's for sale. Check this out. There we go over here. This is one of the higher levels, but again, this guy Dominic, he is absolutely incredible. He's like an absolutely incredible artist. Found him in the Philippines, and so for me, the 1960s TV is the ultimate opening is the prisoner opening, right? So that's how it had to start. And you see let me zoom in a little bit so you can see the speech balloons. They all hum their theme tune to this. Go
He's humming his own theme music.
He's humming his own theme tune, right? And he's driving along, and then along comes Aston Martin, goes and knocks him off the road with this unnamed person. Go, you little sod! I've got your number, Sonny. I've got your numbers.
Oh, I've got your number. That's exactly. That's a nice reference.
Well, that's what it was. And then you have James Bond or whoever this person may be in a car with three young ladies about to have a fantastic evening. About to have an absolutely fantastic evening.
He's already started.
Well, yeah, and I'll show you the next page, which is now here's the break, by the way, where I'm inserting the extra pages after this, where like goes to black. I want to do like more stuff in London. I want to have like go see more things going on in London at this time. What I would really like is have Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who drop acid at Hyde Park listening to the Rolling Stones. That's a scene I really would love to see. But anyway, so then he wakes up next day, and it's been a bit of an evening with three young ladies. It soon transpires that in the throes of lovemaking, one of them's dead.
Oh, it's never good to wake up with a dead hooker.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't want to cast aspersions on these young ladies' profession. Who knows what they could be doing? You know, they. Listen, that's the thing that amazed me about James Bond movies. They're all like, yeah, okay, I will. I'm 100% going to sleep with you for no reason whatsoever. Strange old man. In fact, if you ever watch, what was it, A View to the Kill? A View to the Kill has Roger Moore well into his 60s and Patrick McNee, right? Also, if you imagine that movie is about two elderly gentlemen who think they're spies but don't realize they're not. That's brilliant. That makes View to the Kill absolutely brilliant, right? 100%. Hey, can I ask you to throw up the other graphic? Yeah, fine. So I want to show you that. So that the basic package is those two graphic novels. We also get four art cards based on, and I'm gonna not put too fine a point on it. My 12-year-old masturbatory fantasies. Which are all genre related, and I say, if I say so myself, I have fantastic taste. So you have the first card is Judge Anderson. Do you know Judge Dredd at all?
Absolutely.
So yeah, in fact, let me just zoom in on this one because Dominic's art absolutely freaking fantastic. Like I just think he nails the expression and the face right there completely. There's 100% nails. This is a Judge Anderson I had in my head as a 12-year-old, right?
And not afraid to have a little nipple slippage there.
Yeah, well, that was actually my insistence.
You got to make more comics, my friend.
Listen, I'm really of the opinion that the forces of pure evil in the world don't like heterosexuality. They just don't like it at all. So that's why I'm being overtly heterosexual and sexual in my book, because I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of for being attracted to women, because that's how 99% of humans are hardwired. Okay, so and they want to say that makes you weird. No, this is normal. Okay, if this turns you on, that means you're normal. So the title for this card is "Don't Even Think It, Citizen." Don't even think it's Citizen. Another favorite of mine in the range, we have this one, the James Bondy one. I actually worked with Dominic quite a bit to get the right. I love the movement in this. Like you can really feel her just turning, right? And look, the underwear he nailed 100% perfectly. He has I would say also very, very good taste. So the title of this one is Keeping the British End Up, which is the last line of my favorite James Bond movie, Spy Love Me. You ever seen Spy Love Me?
I've seen them all.
Okay, so you remember the scene. Stromberg's lair is underwater. They escape in this Hershey Kiss-looking escape craft, and they're floating in the water. An elderly James Bond and Barbara Bach looking freaking awesome, right? She looked freaking awesome all the way through that movie. Ringo Starr is the luckiest man in the history of the universe. Anyway, so at the end of this movie, they're in their little escape craft, and they're picked up by an aircraft carrier, and both manned by the Russian espionage agency and MI5. So you got Major Gogol, who's the Russian version of M. They bring the escape craft in. They pull up the curtain, and James Bond and Agent Triple X are in a passionate embrace. So Major Gogol is like, "Triple X, what are you doing?" And M goes, Bond, what on earth is going on?" And he says, "I'm keeping the British end up, sir." Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Nobody does it better. There goes to that. Yeah, the only beaten, I think, by the next movie, Moonraker, where he says what's this line? They're in escape shuttle trying to coming back to Earth, and they go, "What are you doing? What are you doing, Bond?" He says, "I'm attempting re-entry, sir."
Yes.
So
I love the James Bond stuff because I'm writing on a James Bond sort of spoof that became its own thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of The Destroyer, Remo Williams, but it's
I know Remo Williams.
Okay, yes. Well, last 3 books have been done by me, and more manuscripts are turned in. So,
okay, this is all I know about Remo Williams. I saw the movie with the guy from Cabaret in it in the mid-'80s, and it was like, Remo Williams, the adventure begins, and it didn't. It just started, and there was nothing else. You never saw any more Remo Williams again. The adventure begins and also ends very, very, very quickly. Right? It's crazy.
There was a television pilot, but and if you thought that Joel Grey was whitewashing the role of Master Chun, the television pilot took it a step further. Roddy McDowell.
Well, that's okay. Fine. Listen, none so queer as folk. What can I tell you? People are crazy. How is it? The third art card that you get in the package is this one. So this is what kind of defined my life in many, many ways. 12 years old. I was 12 years old, and I love Doctor Who. Okay, big Doctor Who fan. All of a sudden, there's a new companion, the American Purple Gillian Brown, played by Nicola Bright, right? Yeah. And her costume was essentially just spandex, like tight spandex. And she's a very healthy young lady. So basically, it's tight spandex, short, and heels, right? And in the first episode, she was in this bikini outfit for like quite a fair portion. So so she hoved onto screen. She said of her costume, right? The producer John Nathan Turner at the time was a quite a well-known gay gentleman. He said it was a gay man's idea of what was sexy. A gay man and a 12-year-old boy, right? So ever since then, she has been like General Zod, been trapped in the spank bank of my phantom zone, right? She was never going to get out. So the fourth card in the series, I tried to go for a different body type, right? Because I figured I'm monopolizing everything by basically following my own libido. So I wanted to go for Sandra. Baines was the character from Space 1999. Dominic, however, has my exact same libido, right? Exact same libido. And so he fleshed her out a little bit, and now I fancy her too. So there you go. Space 1999, party like it's 1999. I actually can hear the sound, the theme tune when I look at this card because he nails it so much. So they're the 4 we got. Where if you join the mailing list, if you join it now, I'll give it to you as well. We're working on a 5th card. Unfortunately, he has the flu. And he's hoping that it's not the Coof, right? He's hoping so the 5th card is going to be. This is just the preliminary sketch for it. Counselor Troy. Oh boy, it's Counselor Troy. The title of this card is going to be "I'm sensing strong emotions, Captain." I'm sensing strong emotions.
Isn't it too late to join the mailing list? I mean, you're. Yes,
it is, but I don't give a crap. You get it, okay? I'll give it to you. I'll put it in your back. It's a postcard. I'm happy to expand. And I'm very, very grateful for people supporting. I really am. I am just insanely grateful. And also, listen, I have to tell you, I'm not monetizing my channel in terms of doing memberships, but I like much more the idea of offering people something of actual genuine worth. Actual genuine worth, and which I think this card is. So if we hit $10,000, which again we're tracking pretty nicely, I think we're going to expand this range of cards that you get, and you basically just get everything, right? If you're on the full package, which right now is on sale. It goes up to $45 for both books and all cards. When the sale, I think there's about 30 left. Right? It's at $40 right now. So if you are interested,
40 for 40.
Yeah, 40 for 40. So if you are interested, go sooner rather than later, so you can get. You can get those. Sorry, I just read.
And the link is right below, folks. Just click the link in the description right below the video and get out there and get in on this deal here, because this Imperium thing. Now, I don't know where the monkey comes from. If that's an homage to something.
I always think monkeys in the spacesuit is very, very 60s. It's subtly the Planet of the Apes, right? It's that moment in Escape from the Planet of the Apes. They take the helmet off, and it's Cornelius, right? Because they've worked out it's much cheaper to make have only 2 people in ape makeup, in the middle of Manhattan than it was.
Your taste in television mirror mine. Of course, I had totally different broadcasting networks at vying for my attention, but I can pinpoint the exact moment in time that I crossed into puberty, because it was when Yvonne Craig stepped onto the screen wearing tight purple and a yellow cape.
Oh, listen, that's going to happen. Okay, fine. So that's a great idea. This is for the male gaze. That's what we're calling this region. It goes for the male gaze. The next 2 I have to do men. I have women who back me and gay people. I've got to do 2 men. So number 6 and 7 are going to be guys. One's going to be Turlo from Doctor Who. If anybody is attracted to gentlemen and they have a particular penchant for anybody, let me know who you want for card number 7. But I think card number 8 is going to be Slave Leia. But card number 9, Yvonne Craig. Yes, 100%, 100% Yvonne Craig. Maybe, yeah, because we haven't done that yet. But that's a big part. Well, what do we have? Can you enlarge yourself? So, and I'm saying subtly. Yeah. Oh, is that Phil? Was it Phil Noto, right?
No, this is not Phil Noto. This is Jesse Rubenfeld.
Really? That's really good.
Independent
really
convention.
That's really, really good.
Yeah, this is part of my
an original.
This is a print, but I do have. Okay, force me to do it.
I did.
First of all, I do have photographs from the set that Ms. Craig signed before she passed. So those are treasured items for me. But I don't know. I used to go to conventions and I would, say, hey, you're cheap. You're nobody yet, so I can afford you. Draw me something. What do you want? I'm like, first thing I said, draw me Batgirl. And before I knew it, it just grew into a body of work.
All right. Oh, wow. That is freaking gorgeous. That's really good.
And I don't even know who these people are.
Right. I remember I went to conventions in the mid 80s in London. One year we had Dave McKean there. Nobody knew who he was, right? Nobody had any idea who he was. He sold a Constantine original painting for $60, right? Or 60 pounds. Next year he sold a Joker because Arkham Asylum came out. 3,000. That was the appreciation. That's freaking. Who is that?
I don't know who drew this, but it came from Pittsburgh. So Harrenberg, if you recognize the signature, this came from Pittsburgh.
Do me a favor, throw up my campaign again. I'll show you something really cool. You have to scroll down a bit for the campaign.
Your campaign.
Right.
That's the other window.
That's the other window. Because if you scroll down, this is the higher level tiers. You get these art cards or 3D. Keep going. You get these art cards or hand on. Keep going. We're getting there. Yeah. I think it's the next one down. Next pictures. I think we see. No, keep going. Well, that's the sketch cards. But here, if you click on these and enlarge it, was it up, down again? Will it go up to see them? In fact, here, you know what? Let me just find the pictures to show you. I think you can see them clear over here. Hang on. Oh, yeah, okay. Right, so these are 3D sketch cards. So these are hand-drawn, right? These are hand-drawn, and they're 3D elements put in. So you see, like, the Iron Man busting out of the whatever he's in, and you have the Infinity. Fine. So this is like before artwork. This is like the highest level tier, but this is just you. He can do like regular ones, and I think they're. I don't know, how much is the price of these? I think was it $150 or $250? $150 for $150. You get all the books, right? You get all the books. You get the all the cards. You get whatever we end up doing with all the stretch goals. Plus, you get a hand drawn art card. So you either have them like 2D without these 3D elements. That's 150. Or if you want them with this 3D stuff, where they'll put in like lights and stuff, he'll do anything you want, right? He will do anything. He'll draw anything you want. He does a fantastic job. That's just 150.
I can't even imagine how you would do that and mail it. You got to almost assemble it when you get it, or it comes in a cube.
Well, it depends on the card. I mean, listen, these the ones with the lights built in are easier because you just. But yeah, if you ship them in a jewelry box, that does the trick, right? They're no more than like 2-3 inches wide at all, right? So you put them in a jewelry box with padding, they're fine. They're absolutely fine.
There's a gentleman I talked to one time. That's his whole line of work, not cards. He takes comic book covers. He'll use the originals if he has them.
Right.
He'll make prints of them. He'll make like 50 to 100 identical copies of it, and then he'll X-Acto knife out the elements, and he'll start layering them.
Oh, cool. I've seen that sort of stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's very nice.
There you go. So yeah, that's the 3D ones. If you click on those ones, you see the 2D ones, which I just think like if go. Well, these are 3D ones as well. But yeah, I just think $150 you get an original piece of artwork as well. It's just I think it's great. It's the there you go. So again, all these are hand drawn, and he'll do basically whatever you want. He does a fantastic job with them. He's just a great artist.
Very, very nice. Now let's talk about the stories for just a little bit here, because you got two looks like very large books. I missed the page count. I skipped that entirely.
So the biblical is 220 pages, and Imperium is 100 pages. Again, I would like that to say, look, if we hit the 40,000 stretch goal, there's a backup strip in Imperium, right? I haven't put it up yet. Actually, is it 30,000? Yeah, this is a 30,000 stretch goal. I haven't even put it up yet. We hit 30,000, right? There's a backup strip in Imperium, which is how it came about. I used to do a weekly web strip, a Doctor Who web strip called the Ice Warriors, and that got really popular. So the artist on that, Stefano Cardacelli, wanted to do something that we could like monetize, right? Because we didn't own the Ice Warriors. So I came up with the idea of the Imperium. I did a crowdfunding campaign years ago on Indiegogo. Got basically enough to pull it together, got started, then he vanished, right? He completely vanished off the face of the earth. I had to find a different artist. That's how I ended up working with Dominic. But here's the thing. I started to colorize these strips. I got there's about 25 of them in the book. But if we hit 40,000 and we've expanded the book by 20 pages, I'm going to take that backup strip out. I'm going to colorize them all. I'm going to put another 10 pages in, plus a fresh cover. Going to print it. You're going to get a third comic, oversized book. I don't know what we'll call it, like the Empire of Mars or something like that.
Well, the page counts are already insane for the price. I mean, these are big books, Tzvi.
Listen, here's the thing. I can't not do my best. I am crazy. You know what? I do push myself way too far. Right now I'm on page. I'm on page I think 55 of the artwork for my new book, which is in full color. But that's going to launch when I fulfill this one. But like I'm always like pushing myself to do, something better. In fact, you can really see that in Biblical. Biblical was my first book that I did. I started it 5 years ago, and I didn't know I could do it when I first did it. So you can see me grow as an artist as I work out what I'm doing. And the first one, I put out the first issue. I was like, that looks good, right? That the level of the artwork in it is like a Vertigo book, right? It's on the same level, I think. So, and that was my starting point. And I try and make each thing I do a bit better and a bit better and a bit better, and stretch myself to do something more and more and more. So yeah, basically that's where I am.
So you did the artwork yourself for Biblical.
That's right. Yes. And I did it myself because I didn't want to pay for an artist.
Hey.
and the great thing about doing your own artwork is if you feel the story needs like an extra page or two to put it in to make it flow, I do that all the time. Like I always add in extra pages.
Yeah, and now you said that this sort of grew out from that Doctor Who strip you were doing.
Yeah.
Now was that an official Doctor Who strip? Or was
no. This was bootleg universe.
Because I know that copyright is interesting in the UK when it comes to their properties. I did a book for Telos, who's a small publisher.
I know Telos.
Yeah, well, they had the license for Doctor Who for a while there.
Right.
And I guess when BBC said, "Hey, we're going to actually do it again. We're going to want that license back."
Well, they licensed a few short characters for short stories. That's basically how it worked.
Yeah, but they wanted them back, and David Howe's a smart guy, and he basically said, "Okay, well, here's going to be our last book, and then we'll hand everything over." So in the last book, they created new characters that they then
they still carried on.
Yeah, so they got the Honoré Le Chasseur and Emily Blandish to go off and do the whole Time Hunter run, and they couldn't say Doctor Who anymore in it, but they had their own thing, and I got to write the next to the last book in that series before handing it off to George Mann. I'm like, okay, here, kill it, because I pretty much put it into pain, I think.
Right? Yeah. Are they still running? They did a bunch of those, right?
They're still doing well. They did about 10 of the Time Hunter books, but they haven't run Time Hunter in a while that I'm aware of.
All right.
But they're still doing. They went mostly back to the annotated Doctor Who books and the behind the scenes stuff, nonfiction.
Right. Yeah, listen, that's where the market is at right now. I mean, there's so much Doctor Who fiction. It's it's a bit redundant at this point.
Well, I'm always grateful to them because they were my first publisher ever. I wrote an Alice in Wonderland pastiche called Alice's Journey Beyond the Moon, and they were the people who bought onto it. I'm like, I love you guys. I will do whatever you want. Hey, can I play in your sandbox over here? I've got an idea for that guy. And then of course they quit doing fiction after that. So I kind of say that I probably drove the nail in that coffin because they were doing so well.
I remember that range had Kate Ullman in it, didn't it? She did a couple of those books.
I think she did, yeah.
Yeah, she's vanished. Yeah, she was great, and she's like vanished completely by I don't know before Doctor Who came back in 2005, right? But she was a great writer. I wonder why she vanished.
I can't think of what she did. All those authors are kind of.
She did. So this was like the New Adventures, which was from like 1990 to 96. It was like an era of Doctor Who that you kind of vanished now. It was all in novels. She did a couple of great books. The Left-Handed Hummingbird was her first. What else she did? The Sleepy. Yeah, look, go check her out. I Blake Seven's short stories are very good as well.
I'll do that. So both of these books here, The Imperium and Biblical, they're complete graphic novels. They're not like, here's the cliffhanger ending, come back for.
Oh, no. Well, listen, look, the Imperium, both of them, you get a bunch of extras. So the Imperium, you get the script, you get notes on it, you get all of Dominic's sketches, preliminary sketches, and also you get the pitch. Right, when I first did this, I pitched it to. That was back when there were. This was around 2015, right? When I didn't quite realize that my skin color and gender and sexual orientation were not the best for the comic book industry anymore, right? So I didn't realize that was what was going on. So I was pitching this to companies. So you get the pitch for the pilot, one-off, which is, and plus the mini series that follows it. Which I might well do, right? This campaign is going nicely. Again, if it funds the way I would like it to, we're going to do a second volume, like a 100-page story. But I want to keep Dominic busy. I'm not sure when that will be scheduled. I got like my next 3 or 4 projects like pretty much lined up right now.
Will there be any more stories in the Imperium universe? You're just kind of branching out into
probably. Like I want to like, again, you get the outline for the story. Actually, I've got two stories that I could do in it. One is going to be based around the 1967 what's it called, the 6-Day War in Israel, where you got Leo McKern's number 2 is resurrecting mummy zombies in the Middle East as part of his world domination plan. Which basically, and that's the true story of the 6-Day War, right? The true story of the 6-Day War. So I got that going on, and also I kind of like the idea of the Tracy Island, the Tracers from Thunderbirds. I think I'll call them firebrands, right? I think in England it's come out that all these like childhood authority figures were part of a massive. I don't think I can even say it on YouTube. A massive underage.
Yes. A sales market.
A what market?
A sales market. They were selling.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, like an Epstein Island, right? Yeah, like a Jeffrey Epstein sort of thing going on. So I figured there's some kind of like dirty ring that they're running. Yeah. So, and I figured there was a Jerry Anderson character called Torchy the Battery Boy, right? So I figured having him in his in a closet, being kept there before he's horribly used and murdered. This is a lot like goes out.
This is a lot like Alan Moore's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but a lot more.
Yeah, well, 100%. That's where it came from. Here's the thing. I just finished reading Tempest about a week or so ago. I did a review of it. Whoa, that's a lot of work to read. But just to say, the difference is Alan Moore is much cleverer than me. So his heroes are like 19th century literature. Like horror heroes. My heroes are the Prisoner and James Bond, right? So it's the same thing. So yeah,
exactly. I mean, he was able to take them because they were public domain and keep their names, or at least he couldn't do Dr. Fu Manchu because apparently there's
right. But this is what you do. He just called him the Chinaman or something. He just
the Limehouse Doctor.
Well, sorry. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I kind of like that. I like it when he changed it. So that's why none of my characters are named in this. Again, you got the agent, the exile, the envoy. They're none of them are named or who they are. And sorry.
I'm saying sure. Yeah, you just don't name them. You can
right. But also part of it is it deals with like the meta reality of like, so you do see, we do reference their fictional counterparts at the end of the book, where they it's a very important plot point. They're not these fictional counterparts. But again, you have to read the book to find out what the hell I'm talking about. Although, was it? Yeah, there's one thing I will show you, which my favorite bit of that book. Where is it? Let me pull this up. A second, I gotta go click here. Open with preview. Don't think about opening with anything else here. So here, that's it. Can you let me see. Where did I go?
I've shared it. It's just black.
Yeah, no, this is the wrong thing. Here, it's sharing this thing.
Don't want to share that then.
There we go. So it's up now. So a plot point in this is the dead young lady ends up getting stashed in the toiletry closet, in the supply closet. So you have a lot of it. You have the monkey walking around with lots of rolls of toilet paper in his hand, right? And at one point, he sees an incredible thing causing him to drop the toilet paper. There is a weird alien invading entity that he throws one that. He throws a roll of toilet paper at one of these weird invading entities who grabs it. He goes bloop, 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 and does something that I think we've all done, right? He holds the roll of toilet paper up to its eye and looks through it just as James Bond is walking in, right? And so I actually wrote a lot of stuff just to get to that point because you know what? Again, we've all been there. Then James Bond breaks reality as James Bond is apt to do.
I love it. I love the part too where the chimp is walking down the hallway and he's overhearing somebody having fun, I guess, in another room.
Well, it's not what you think is happening. Yeah, it's there's a line that this Lovecraftian entity is invading reality, and the exile, the Doctor Who-ish character, he says, "I think we're going to experience a whole new dawning of the age of Aquarius, a whole sexual revolution." And he goes, "Oh, what, another one?"
Oh, well, so folks, if you want big books that are fun to read, definitely click on the link below here. Get out here and get the Imperium, get biblical. Two wildly divergent styles. You're not pigeonholing yourself into anything here. I mean, you're...
No, in fact, my next book is a steampunk adventure set on Mars. Here, do I have any? I'll pull up some pages from that.
Yeah,
yeah, no, this was really cool. I just got to find the right folder. So this will be coming in Crown of the Empire. Does this have it? I got a file called Preview. Let me see if this has everything in it to preview. You know what? It has quite a fair bit. Fine. This is enough to show you. In a second. Fine. It's got to zoom in a bit. There you go. Share screen.
Gotta share it.
There we go. So here, this is my next one coming out in May. Let me just zoom this in a little bit. So yeah, this is like a steampunk story on Mars. So yeah, the main character, I got into Phantom Menace through Nerdrotic. So I thought, why not make him the main character? But here,
does he know?
Oh yeah, I told you, he's like, this is weird. Tzvi, this is really weird. But he thinks a lot of things I do is really weird. So yeah, so this is basically about this upper class twit who's posted to Mars and not very happy about it, right? So it's a very Victorian, Edwardian view of what Mars is. So there's an atmosphere on it, and you got. I do like all the military, phaser rifles. So basically, what happens is this upper class twit is ends up getting really into alien weed and hookers, right? So he's very innocent, and he arrives over here. And this is like 7 weeks later. He's like he's a complete mess. A lot of it takes place in the Martian wilderness. The Martian.
I love those creatures. Do the green Martians have 4 arms?
No, they don't. Because I have to draw them. But they go to this outpost in the middle of nowhere. And he makes a series of bad decisions, this guy, right? And he has this like bizarre trip, which changes reality, changes his life. But wow. Let me get to some of the color bit. So then there's this massive alien uprising, which basically this guy causes, right? With this massive alien uprising, and they're about to attack the fort. So I originally wrote this as these 3 pages as 1 page, right? So it's like where I feel like the story just needed to breathe a little bit more. So like I wanted to take some time with them, like charging, like hold. So we got a whole page of that before he's like hold, and they're running. Basically waits to see the whites arrive. Then he's like discharge, fire, and doink, and he when we get lots of reasonable. But so I wanted to make it clear the alien threat is pretty bad as well. So I got this guy getting a bunch of arrows in his face, and then we have lots of battle stuff going on. But then like the rest of it is about them. One second, this is way too big. It's about them surviving and getting back to civilization to lead the counter insurrection, against these savages. So there you go. That's the next book I'm working on. Right, but you see, listen, I think you can see the difference in styles. I try and do something different with each book. Like with each thing, I try and do something that I haven't done before.
Now you're drawing this as well.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Well, I'm doing the line art. The colors is by a woman called Rita Giovanni, who's just doing a fantastic job. Let me just show you.
Dude, your line art is fantastic.
Thank you. It's yes, I think I've got to zoom back on this one again. Doing. There we go.
That scene where everything was kind of getting weird and psychedelic. I was getting a very Valentine Michael Smith kind of vibe off of that.
I don't know who that is, but he sounds like a nice guy.
Robert Heinlein, Stranger in a Strange Land.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly the vibe that I was going for. But again, if you ever seen the old Michael Caine Sixers movie called Zulu, which is reasonably racist, right? It's reasonably racist. It's basically that on Mars, right? So this is something I do want to do more volumes of in the future. But my plan is I want to do 4 campaigns a year. I'm going to draw one, and I'm going to bring other artists in for the other 3. So I got this is the next one I'm doing, and then after that I want to do a Superman book. So I had this really cool idea for a Superman book. We have a framing story. Again, it'll be my own version. It'll be Omni-Man or something.
Call him Miracle Man.
Well, you don't want to touch that. There's much legal wrangling there. But yeah, you see, in Homelander, it's clearly Superman. You can really see. It's not hard to do, right? Yeah. And I figure instead of like having him from a distant planet, have him from a different dimension, that sort of thing. Anyway, so the idea is that universe is Lois Lane. I think I'm going to call her Laurie Lynch. Is a YouTuber, right? A YouTube reporter, and she scored an interview with Omni-Man, Superman. But I wanted it to like really be a celebration of what that character is. So we could start off. This version of the Fortress of Solitude is a massive metal and crystalline structure just in the lower atmosphere of the Earth, right? So he's sitting on top of it, and it is close up of him with the super dog. Because I think there's nothing more Americana than dog ownership. Like, somebody owning a dog, that's pure Americana, and that's what Superman is, pure American. Everything good about being American is in Superman. At least it should be. Right, so close up of him like petting the dog, like, and you pull back slowly, you see he's on this massive structure, right, floating in the lower atmosphere. And I kind of imagine it's got that Richard Donner dan 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 like soundtrack behind it, because that's what I love, the majesty of Superman, right? So so you have that, and then Laurie Lynch he brings her up it's like the date with Superman. He brings her up for the interview, and then that universe's version of Mr. McPlisnick, whatever that's how you pronounce his name, appears, right?
Yes,
there you go. And I will do something that I can pronounce. So then he zaps Superman with a reality ray. Goes white for a page. Next page, you're in a 1930s style Superman, right? And that carries on in that style for about 5-10 pages. And then he managed to break out of that reality and gets to a 1950s style, and then breaks out of that, he's in the 70s, and breaks out of that, he's in the 80s. And you go through the different feelings of Superman, but it's all Superman, right? And then you can get to the modern age, and he's like a black woman. He's like, what the hell's happened to me? Like before he becomes Superman again, right? And then
he was always a black woman.
Exactly, yeah, black woman lesbian, right? We got that, and so then the backup strip to really explain who this character is. I'll do the interview with Superman, and you'll find out about his life, and but see, that's the thing. I can work on with like 5 or 6 different artists, right? I can have a different artist do each segment, and I can deliver that book a lot quicker. By doing that. It's like the pure feeling of Superman. That's a book I would really love to do in hardcover, right? If I do it, I normally prefer softcover books. I would love to do that in hardcover.
Yeah, and there's so many. I tell you, the talk about the comics industry dying. I agree with that, but at the same time, I also agree that this is a renaissance period. We're finding
this is great artists. For people like me, this is the greatest time ever. And I also like the entire reason I made my channel, that I created my channel, was to make a platform to sell my comics. I hadn't heard about Comicsgate until 2018. Right, 2018, I got into Nerdrotic because Doctor Who was awful. And from about 3 months later, I heard about Comicsgate and Mark Waid and his suitcase with your boy Zach, Ethan's channel. And I started listening to Ethan. I freaking loved it. But yeah, he's made a lot. Firstly, best salesman I ever heard. Like, just the best salesman I ever heard. But like this model for selling comics is fantastic. You develop a platform, you develop it. If you have a personality, which most people I think who make comics they're a bit weird. We're a bit of a weird, but the trouble is though, people who make comics are also a bit flaky. Generally speaking, I'm very high functioning in comparison to most I've dealt with.
Well, you've been sleeping throughout today's CG news. So,
what's going on? Tell me more.
Well, let's just say that the hashtag Me Too has collided with hashtag Comicsgate.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. There's apparently
who's being fingered? She cried. Who's being? That's not a good use of words. Who's being accused?
Yeah, she brought the receipts and the DMs of a gentleman in Australia who's put out a Xenotype book.
Right. Well, listen. Here's the thing: people, you're not going to have any group of people without having good and bad people in it.
I've said from the beginning when people were like, because I'm pro Comicsgate and I'm pro people who aren't Comicsgate. I'm just against people who are anti anything because they suck.
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, I'm just pro comics.
No. And I've always said, it's like any healthy functioning body has an asshole. And half of them have dicks. So, Comicsgate is a functioning body. It's going to have its assholes and dicks.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's listen, so I'm sorry. I am sorry to hear there's been bad behavior. Let's say, but yeah, if you want comics that are not preaching to you, it's still the only place to go.
Yeah,
what comics that people care about, right? Comics people care about and are passionate about, and just want to tell stories. It's the only place to really go.
And their quality. I mean, it's not like, it's just a bunch of pissed off guys who said, I'm going to go out and make my own comics.
No, exactly.
Like Rembrandt.
Yeah. Look, I'm so proud of all these pages, this book. Yeah, I mean, it's, I'll go to this page. Yeah, it's like, I want to talk about the colors for a second because I said, listen, this is supposed to be early morning. She really nailed like that feeling of dawn, like that dawn sunrise. Yeah, like she got that like. But have you ever been to Italy?
No, never left the state.
Okay, it's fantastic. Firstly, if you keep kosher like I do, best food in the whole freaking world, right? And I've been to New York, I've been to Paris, best food in the world. Nothing is better than that. But the colors, it's weird, especially if you get into Tuscany, are just more vibrant in Italy. It's the strangest thing. It's like, I don't know, the atmosphere is clear or something. It's the most gorgeous place I've ever seen.
It's got to be the atmosphere is letting more sunlight in or something.
Yeah. This took some discussion. The color of the alien prostitutes' lingerie. We spent a long time talking about that. Like I wanted to go. She was. I can't remember who said it, but I wanted to go for something like a little bit more multicolored than tacky. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I grok it. I'm digging it.
I tell you, listen. If you like, what can anybody ask for? Then upper class twits, English colonials, and alien prostitutes on Mars. It seems like a good combination to me.
When is this launching?
As soon as I fulfill the current campaign.
Okay, so
I'm totally in a position to launch this now, but I wanted this to be my second campaign. I wanted to develop a what's the word? A good reputation. I want people to know they get my book, so they're going to get decent quality, delivered professionally. That's really the bottom line. That's what I'm after.
And Rabbi, I've done so many of these interviews, and I see the same thing over and over again. Once you've fulfilled a book, your second campaign hits the goal so much faster.
Exactly. This book I want to do 80 grand. I really want it to do 80 grand. But I want my current campaign to do 80 grand as well.
Yeah. And this book also will be like, it's the story. It's not like, issue 1 of something.
Oh yeah, listen, I do. You know, the whole. In all my books, I have somebody throwing up at some point because I just enjoy people throwing up. So here we go. After a bit of a night, in biblical, you get to see Noah throw up. No, Noah liked a bit of a drink. If you didn't know, by the way,
I did a speech for Toastmasters I was part of, and I said, you know, when you read the book of Genesis, it's like the boat landed, Noah planted a vineyard, and the next verse, he's drunk. And I was like,
let me see. I'll go back to biblical for a second.
I had to do some research. I'm like, okay, exactly how long does it take for a sprig to produce fruit?
Right.
And then for that fruit to ferment. And I was like, it was like 18 months to produce fruit, and then ferment was another year. I was like, how bad was this boat trip that he was committed to 2.5 years?
Pretty bad. It was like the destruction of reality. It was the apocalypse. Right, here one second. Let me put because I'll show you that because I have all that in biblical. So here one second. Let me talk about biblical. So the reason I did this book. Here we go. So here was I'm in this book as well. I'm gonna share it with you. And my son's in it being killed many times over. Fine. So yeah, this is I crowdfunded this on Kickstarter a few years ago. And I did this as a stretch goal. So this is a little intro story. It's a parable. It's called a midrash. It's about truth. So truth is a bit of a dick. So I figured, you know what? Perfect casting. I'll be truth. I can relate to that. So God creates the universe, right? He's decided to create the universe. And so truth is saying, look, this is freaking awesome. Look at everything you've done. It looks beautiful. But it's a terrible idea. You can't make people. You can't make humanity. On one side, they're going to be like animals. And the other side, you're going to put like this higher soul in them, and they're going to be confused and freak out and do terrible things all the time. And he like freaks out. And he goes through like all the hypocrisy and everything that they will this awful creation humanity will do, right? And God says, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. So he takes truth and he throws them down to earth, right? He throws them down to earth, and eventually truth hits bottom, right, and explodes and shatters and goes everywhere. And the shards that shatter, they go everywhere. That's why in every philosophy you have an element of truth. Truth is everywhere. But anyway, so you're talking about Noah. So anyway, the first part of the story is about King Nimrod and the Tower of Babel, right? So I have this little silhouette bit that starts it off, which basically starts off each chapter. But okay, so this is the reason I did this book, right? Because most people think Tower of Babel. They understand the Tower of Babel story, right? But when you think about it, it makes no sense whatsoever, right? Like zero sense. Because firstly, you have this idea, you have people wanting to build a tower to go and kill God, right? That's not going to work out. No matter how primitive man is, that's just not going to work out. You're not going to be able to build a tower to go and kill God. You know, it's just a bit of a non-starter. And then the more you know about it, the more confusing it gets. Yeah, I'll go to another page, make it. Let me see. The more confusing it gets. They built the Tower of Babel at the bottom of a valley as opposed to the top of a mountain. If you're trying to get to God, go to the top of a mountain. Duh.
You have a head start.
And then they say they smelted bricks for it, right? So if you're going to build a structure like that, you're going to want to mine stone, which is going to be much firmer. So the answer to all this is knowing more about what was going on. So the Valley of Sinai, which is where the Tower of Babel was built, was the sinkhole through the for the entire universe, right? The entire world. So when the flood waters receded, right? Do I have a picture of that? I think I do. Here we go. When the flood waters receded. I thought I had that. Never mind. Yeah. So the flood waters receded. They built the tower there because that everything, all the earth there was you had all the bones of the dead, all the dead of the entire generation killed through an apocalypse. So the idea is that it was a monument to the power and the brutality of God, right? How bad God was, right? And that's what I mean by making war on God, and making the war on the idea of there being a loving God. So the first thing he does, but on the day it's inaugurated, he gives this like big kind of fascist speech, and he brings out his daughter, right? Who actually I had people model for all of this. So this guy, this is actually his real daughter.
Oh boy.
He real daughter, and he slits her throat with a with a knife made of a thigh bone from one of the survivors from the flood. Right, he smears the blood on his face, and he rips everybody up into like this religious frenzy, this absolute frenzy. And then he gets somewhere, and he says, and that's when God came, right? That's when God came and destroyed everything. And then when we start the next chapter, I try to make it echo 9/11, like the
nice.
And I wanted it very subtle, so you wouldn't really realize. So this was I think the third book I ever drew. And I was just kind of getting used to doing it back then. But here, I'll show you my favorite pages I've ever done.
Yeah, I mean, the way I understood it, the way it was explained to me one time, when it says that Nimrod was a mighty hunter before the Lord, reading that in English, it sounds like, hey, this Nimrod was, I'm a good hunter and God likes me. But it was like, no. He was a mighty hunter ahead of the Lord, which meant that he was recruiting people to his little religion.
Well, exactly, yeah. So
Judaism is spreading.
We talk all about that in this. So yeah, we say we talk about him being this hunter. The reason he's to show his prowess as a hunter is that he was able to kill an animal in a kosher fashion with a spear or a sword, which is you've got to cut the two windpipes, instantaneously, which again is very hard. But then the next page is exactly as he said. True hunting. True hunting is when you hunt with somebody's mouth, when you hunt for somebody's heart, right? To turn them towards you. Yeah, and that's how he builds up his army. Right? So yeah, exactly. So if you have any knowledge of the Bible, you will see things that you will recognize. So anyway, so look, this is my favorite page, and I like my favorite pages because it freaks out my wife completely. This kid here is my youngest son, one of the sweetest kids in the world, right? He's so nice. He's probably one of the nicest people I know. So the whole story is like the king is telling him these memories, and to this kind of weird, creepy kid, who then goes and brings him his sword, and then he's like, "Oh yes, this is going to behold it," and he just like stabs him in the stomach, right? Spoiler alert, this was in the Bible as well. So anyway, so he crawls away in his blood, and he like pulls his head back and says, "Yeah, good boy." He's very happy with him because that means he's adopted his worldview, his lifestyle, and he hacks his head off. But then he does it a few more times, like hack, thunk, thunk, thunk. He makes kind of like this creepy noise. But here, get into my favorite page. My favorite page is this. You pan down slowly. In fact, I'm going to zoom in. So you pan down slowly. And he's holding the severed head. And then to show his appreciation for his education, he kisses the head before discarding it and throwing it away.
Oh, my. I want to say it was Keith Giffen, but somebody wanted to do a comic book version of the Bible 30 years ago and no one would touch it but one publisher. Penthouse Comics was going to do it.
Really? That's wild.
They were the only ones who really could if you didn't, say, okay, we're going to have a fig leaf in the right position here. We're going to pan away when Jephthah's daughter comes running out to him. If you're going to show it, you got to be obscene.
It's I'm not really big into being overly prudish. These things are part of life. In fact, listen, let's see if you can spot my little. This is like the second half of the book where we go into the story of Jonah, and Jonah spent a lot of the time under this magic tree that God grew for him. Right? Can you recognize the tree?
How many leaves is that? I think I recognize.
Listen, he's. I believe he's having a religious experience one way or another. But yeah, so this is where you actually can see I've learned to draw by this point. Until going, so that's when I started like incorporating the silhouette thing. It was like an ongoing feature of this. But here I got there's oh yeah, here look, there's the bit of the guy throwing up because I always have people throwing up.
Throwing up.
Oh yeah, I was going to show you Noah throwing up. Where was that? We'll do a tour of the vomit of my book. Where was it? It was over here. So this was the first book I drew. Where was it? Back nearly there. Yeah, so this is the first book I drew. And I was like, yeah, okay, this one it seems professional enough. I can move forward. So he's like he's staggering out, drunk out of his mind. Bit of vomit.
I sense a running theme, and I'm going to guess. And we already know they're up on Mars.
Another running theme. Where was this? Over here. So this person drowning in the flood. That's my son, right? That's my son, and he does drown in many issues of this book.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm in. I will. I've got to get in and back this one while it's still up and running. So we're seeing. I should actually share my stream so people can see. You can get the Imperium for $20 plus shipping, or you can get Biblical for $25 plus shipping. Is that hardcover?
No. It's just listen. If it does great, we'll do it in hardcover. But I really don't like hardcover books.
Okay, I'm just making sure because sometimes the image that people have to put together.
Yeah, I know. You know what? One of the many things I have to do is fix that, but I am not. I have time. So yeah, different levels. The $80 level is cool. You get a hand-drawn sketch, which I quite like because I like the idea of people getting something personal. 150, you get an original piece of artwork. 250, it's 3D, and I think at $300 you get like the original artwork from Imperium, which I give them all, which is good news.
So yeah, get in here, people. Click on this thing and get in, take it. This one's intriguing to me. Here's the first time I've seen a specific country shipping tier.
Yeah, it's so annoying. Okay, so I didn't realize the Republic of Ireland wasn't in the wasn't part of the wasn't classed as part of the United Kingdom, right? So right. They have to pay $30 shipping because they're the rest of the world, and they're in Ireland. It's ridiculous. I'm pretty in England. They can ship. So I've added in a new tier where they get reasonable shipping levels, right? It's like a reasonable shipping rate.
That because you could make one for every country if you.
I'm probably gonna have to do one for Australia. I'm probably gonna have to do one for Canada, right? Canada, I'm probably not actually because I got a bunch of backers in Canada already who've already paid for the shipping, so I'll have to refund them, but I'm probably going to add something extra into their package instead if you're in Canada. And if I can't get you local shipping, I'm going to give you an extra comic somehow. I'll find something else to put in there for you because again, $30 is just ridiculous. I believe.
I completely agree with you. It's what prompted us to get into the shipping business because people didn't want to pay more for shipping than they were for the book.
Exactly.
Now, and I had a question before we closed out here, and I forgot what it was.
I'm at that stage of life too, mate. We're all there.
Yeah. All right. Well, 2 great big books, a really good price here, $40. You can just get both of them, plus all these cards here, all these For the Male Gaze cards. It says a set of 4, probably going to be 5. You mentioned by the time it's done.
Probably going to be 10. I reckon we're going to get up to 10. Like, I want to do the slave layer. Got to do the slave layer.
There you go. I know what I was going to ask now. I saw it on the screen. Your estimated shipping is May 2021. Is that everything look like it's on goal for that?
These books are done. These books are done. Pre-press is done. Ready to roll. We're ready to roll on all of them. The only question is, if we add pages into Imperium, it's going to push us back by about a month maximum.
Okay, but it's February already, so you have plenty of time. If you get pushed back a month, you're still on goal.
Well, no, the sooner I ship, if I can ship in April, I'll ship in April because that means I can launch my next campaign. Right? Exactly. I am eager to ship because once I fulfill, I got the next campaign ready to go.
Well, in 23 days, you can go.
Well, I do hope we're gonna get up to the stretch goals where we can add pages in. Like, I get the way it's tracking now. This first week's been pretty good. $4,000. I really want if the first stretch goals at $5,000. I'm just starting to get out onto other channels right now this week. So hopefully we'll be able to drum up. And look, if this is something you're interested in, the more backers we have, the better package we get for everyone. Also, if it influences you at all, I tithe my income, which means I give 10% of my earnings, between 10 and 20% of my earnings to charities.
Melchizedek would be proud.
Well, exactly. So yeah, and so I'm sorry. I was trying to remember what the charities were. I brain farted at that moment. So the two charities there's one called Yad Eliezer, which does a poverty release here in Israel, and another one called Noah's Ark, which is a charity I heard about from Peter Capaldi, former Doctor Who. It's a hospice for children. Like, I can't think of anything better than that. They basically they do everything to make these few precious moments of these children's lives and their families around them like as wonderful as possible. Yes, it's going to go in demand. It's going to go in demand until I ship the next one, and then maybe I will have a chat with somebody about keeping it available for you guys. Right? That may well happen.
I would love to have that chat happen.
Yeah. Listen, again, I want to get a lot of books out. Yeah, I would like to do minimally 4 books a year. I was toying around with the idea of numbering them, and I thought, that's a bit dickish. Let people come in and come out. But I do like the idea of having my logo on the spines, lined up. That appeals to me.
That is, yes. Nothing annoys me more than having 8 graphic novels of a set and they change it like halfway through, and then they change it.
I hate that. That makes me crazy. You're right. So yeah, guarantee you're gonna get the Rabbi library. It's gonna match on each other, even though they're gonna be eclectic, right? We're gonna get themes that go through. We're gonna get strands, but they're basically whatever I'm interested in, right? Whatever's interested me today was good. Like, I want to do. I have this idea of doing a comedy book, right? I thought, okay, picture this. I'll picture the idea. Imagine Chris Hemsworth and Ryan Reynolds, couple of insanely attractive stoners, right? They're in the Keys in Florida by a gas station, and they meet a bunch of like very, very, very beautiful, very vacant looking people, all wearing the same chic uniforms, very sexy uniforms. And they get talking to them, and they go back to where they find where they are. They go to them. Turns out it's a James Bond villain's secret lair, right? See, and the idea of the book is going to be called Henchmen. So they actually they infiltrate themselves into that group, right? And they destabilize it by being the weed salesman within the James Bond Henchmen group. And you see James Bond in the background towards the end, saving the day. Stopping them destroy the world. Well, I did thought it'd be funny. Couple of stuff. Like, you ever seen Moonraker? Moonraker, the thing. We're just going to repopulate the earth with these people here. And everyone's like, yeah, cool. We're all fine with that. I want to know who those people are. When you go to a James Bond movie, right? You go to the villain, they're in a pool, and there's all these beautiful women sitting around a pool. I want to know about them. I want to know what their story is. That fascinates me. Like, how do they get there?
Exactly. Just like, hey, I'm having a party to destroy the world. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Exactly. It's a bit weird. It's a bit strange.
Well, Rabbi, thank you so much for coming on the show and bringing these wonderful books here, and the very intriguing sense of humor in all of them.
It's very accurate and a very accurate description, and a bit disturbing, but yeah, it's true.
Well, I'm going to have to back these things tonight. So
seriously, there's how many? There's like 30 left on the sale price.
There's
like 32 left. I'm really hitting the streets this week, pounding the drum. If this interests you, get yourself the deal. I would like you to do well.
So we're still at 81 backers. Still got the 32 copies of 40 for 40 early bird special. Get the early bird special, folks. If you're watching this tomorrow morning on the replay, I hope it's still available for you. Click the description link below. It will take you straight to this Indiegogo page. and get the rabbi's work. Look at this line art here that is just it's gorgeous. It's freaking gorgeous. So just you'll be glad to add this to your collection. And yes, it's coming from overseas, but it's coming from in America overseas. So the shipping is not going to be an issue like it frequently is.
Yeah, local shipping, baby. That's the way to go.
All right. Rabbi, thank you again so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Hope you will come back. Definitely when you launch your next book, and anytime you just feel like it, just reach out to us and say, "Hey, I'd like to come on and just talk comics." So we'd love to have you on.
Okay, listen, if ever I see a string going on, I'll get in the chat. You'll see me there. You've got to let me know. I'm happy to come back on.
We throw some open mic nights on the weekend sometimes, so you might be you might see us out there, and just come on and jump in.
Okay.
Everyone in the chat, appreciate you being here. We don't have a show without you.